Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Learning Arabic grammar through selected ayat of the Quran, following the same order of the grammar rules in the Madinah book syllabus. We come to the lesson on adad and ma'dud, which are numbers and the things being counted, i.e. how do you say, for example, 3 pens, how do you say 4 cars, how do you say 5 trees, and so on and so forth. So this numbers from 3 to 10, using them correctly, we're going to look at numbers from 3 to 10 first, because numbers has a different set of rules from 3 to 10 than 1 and 2, and then from 11 to 12, and then so on and so forth. So today we're going to be looking at the numbers 3 to 10 and how they're used. From the Surah Luqman, ayat number 27, let's read the ayat in Arabic and then translation of the meaning in English. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَوْ أَنَّمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ مِنْ شَجَرَةٍ أَقْلَامٌ وَالْبَحْرُ يَمُدُّهُ مِنْ بَعْدِهِ سَبْعَةُ أَبْحُرٍ مَا نَفِدَتْ كَلِمَاتُ اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَزِيزٌ حَكِيمٌ. If all the trees on the earth were pens, and the ocean were ink refilled by 7 other oceans, the words of Allah would not be exhausted. Surely Allah is Almighty, All-Wise. And as you can see, as this is in the previous lessons, the highlighted 2 words show the 7 oceans, right? 7 oceans. Sab'atu abhurin. Sab'atu abhurin. Okay, now just to use this as an example to explain the grammar rule, the word sab'atu, as you can see, is feminine in that it has a ta marbuta at the end of it. And the reason why it has to be feminine is because the thing being counted, which is in this case oceans, when you look at the singular, it's bahar. This is abhur. This is a plural of bahar, which is ocean. Right? Abhurun is oceans. So because the thing being counted is masculine, the number should be feminine and vice versa. Okay? If I'm counting, if I said 7 cars, the word car is sayyaratun, which is feminine. I'd have to say sab'a or sab'u sayyaratin. Sab'u. Right? I'd have to use a masculine form of the number 7 and then sayyaratin. Okay? Because the word sayyarat in singular is sayyaratun, which is feminine. So I have to use an opposite gender. That's the first main rule. The second rule, as it pertains to numbers 3 to 10, we're dealing with numbers 3 to 10 specifically, is that the thing being counted, which in this case is the word abhur, as you can see, or you might not be able to see clearly here, it takes a majroor ending, abhurin, right? It takes a majroor ending, sab'atu abhurin, and it's considered mudaf ilay. Mudaf ilay is always majroor, so it takes a kasra ending. And also it doesn't have alif and lam on it, even though it's considered mudaf ilay, it doesn't have alif and lam. Right, and it's plural. So 3 rules for the thing being counted. Number 1, it's plural. Number 2, it's majroor bil idafa, it's a kasra ending. We've done idafa in the previous lesson. And also it doesn't have alif and lam. Those are the 3 rules for the thing being counted. As for the number 7, for example, as you can see, it's the opposite gender of the thing being counted. But also the case ending, which is here sab'atu, it can change, depends on its place in the sentence. Right, so if you said, I saw 7 C's, right, and that makes it a mansub ending, then it would be ra'aytu, I saw 7 cars, ra'aytu, you'd say, or sab'a sayyaratin, sab'a, it would take a fatha ending, or if it's something which is masculine like books, I saw sab'ata kutubin, okay? Plural form of kitab is kutub. So the ending here, the dhamma, it can be a fatha, it can be a kasra, it depends on its position in the sentence. So it's mu'rab basically, right? It takes change. So that's the grammar of the lesson. are you looking at numbers? You can find other examples in the Quran where numbers are mentioned. For example, in Surah Al-Talaq, it mentions how often the number of divorce and stuff like that. Let's have a quick look at make tadabbur of the meaning of the ayah. It starts off by saying a condition. It gives you like a conditional sentence. If, right? وَلَوْ أَنَّمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ مِنْ شَجَرَةٍ. Shajaratin, you know, is tree, right? وَلَوْ أَنَّمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ مِنْ شَجَرَةٍ. If all of the trees on the earth, shajaratin, right? أقلام. أقلام is a plural of قلم, and it's a broken plural. Right? So if all of the trees on the earth were, and it uses a word which is nakira, i.e. singular, and with tanween on it, meaning tree by tree by tree by tree. Not trees as in the species, right? But no, actual trees, to show you how big the number is going to be. Right? وَلَوْ أَنَّمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ مِنْ شَجَرَةٍ, of the trees. أَقْلَامٌ, they were all pens. Okay, so this is an example, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you. أَقْلَامٌ, they were all pens. وَالْبَحْرُ يَمُدُّهُ مِنْ بَعْدِهِ سَبْعَةُ أَبْحُرٍ. And the oceans, now it's got alif and lam, so it shows, you know, the ocean, were added to it 7 other oceans. The ocean's huge. The ocean in itself is already expansive and huge. But there were 7 other oceans added to it. ما نفدت كلمات الله. Kalimat is a plural of kalima, so I say sound feminine plural. كلمات الله, the words of Allah. Okay, the words of Allah, i.e. Allah's knowledge. Okay, Allah's knowledge. And we know we're speaking about knowledge because from the reasons of this ayat being revealed was the people asking the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Yahud, when the ayat was saying that you have not been given of knowledge except a small amount, i.e. of knowledge, they came and said, okay, but we have the Tawrat and it has all this great knowledge in it. We have the Tawrat, which is a revelation to Moses, and it has all this knowledge in it of rulings, of how to be and stuff like that. So the ayat was revealed, وَلَوْ أَنَّمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ مِنْ شَجَرَةٍ أَقْلَامٌ وَالْبَحْرُ يَمُدُّهُ مِنْ بَعْدِهِ سَبْعَةُ أَبْحُرٍ مَا نَفِدَتْ كَلِمَاتُ اللَّهِ. That's what's in the Tawrat or what's in the Quran is a small amount of the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even though it's great in and of itself, the knowledge of Allah is more expansive than that. Then it says, Inna Allaha Azizun Hakim. Verily Allah is all wise and almighty. Azizun is almighty, Hakimun is all wise. And Inna, as we're going to learn in the later lessons, this is harf ta'keed. It makes something, it emphasizes, which is why the word Allah afterwards takes a fatha ending, because it comes before a nominal sentence. If you used to take away inna, would be Allahu Azizun Hakim. Allah is Aziz with a dhamma. Put inna there, it changes and makes it a fatha. Inna Allaha Azizun Hakimun. Allah is Aziz and Hakim. Okay, Allah is Almighty, and at the same time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all wise. These are from the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is described as being Almighty and being all wise, and also from the names of Allah, Al-Aziz, Al-Hakim as well. Okay, so the verse again, وَلَوْ أَنَّمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ مِنْ شَجَرَةٍ. If in the earth, فِي الْأَرْضِ بِكَسْرٍ مِنْ شَجَرَةٍ أَقْلَامٌ وَالْبَحْرُ يَمُدُّهُ مِنْ بَعْدِهِ سَبْعَةُ أَبْحُرٍ مَا نَفِدَتْ كَلِمَاتُ اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَزِيزٌ حَكِيمٌ. The grammar here being taught is سَبْعَةُ أَبْحُرٍ. The word sab'atu has to be the opposite gender of the thing being counted, the number. So it has to be number 1, opposite gender. And number 2, also the endings can change. It's mu'rab, means it can be marfu or mansub or majroor. So the endings can change. And the word being counted, the ma'dud, number 1 is going to be, has to be plural. Number 2, the ending is majroor ending. I'm just writing in English for now. And number 3 also doesn't have alif and lam at the beginning of it, as you can see. not alif and lam, alright? It can take either marfu or mansub or majrur ending. Okay, depends on its place in the sentence. So that's the last lesson. One more thing, if you want to say how many of something, because this is answering, or this mentions a number, you would say kam, and then you would put the word there. Like, so if I want to know how many students are in the class, say kam taliban fil fasli, kam taliban. The word after kam, if you look at it here, even though in English you say how many students, in Arabic you use a singular noun. Singular noun, talib, and it's in the mansub ending, right? Takes a mansub ending. How many students? 7 students, right? You would say sab'atu tulabin. Sab'atu tulabin. Okay, so that's an example of adad and ma'dud, which is in the final few lessons of Madinah Book 1. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.